My mother-in-law set 7 places at the table. There were 8 of us, so Ruth picked up my daughter's plate, walked it to the laundry room, and set it on the dryer like a thing to be stored. She thought a 7-year-old was the easiest person in that house to move by the end of the night. Ruth would be the one standing on the porch in the cold. But what made the whole room go silent wasn't what my husband said. It was the 2 pieces of paper I set on the table first. "This table is for blood," Ruth told me. Smiling, she had no idea I'd been keeping the books. "My name is Kate. I'm 34. I keep other people's books for a living, and I'd kept the peace in this family for 3 years. Not anymore. We live in a narrow blue house where my daughter Lily's drawings cover the refrigerator edge to edge. My husband Owen is a calm man with sawdust permanently in his cuffs. His 2 older kids, Nate and Sophie, 12 and 10, stay with us weekends and half the summer. I love that house when it's full. I love it more when nobody's keeping score. Here's the thing nobody had bothered to add up. I was the one keeping it running. The dentist visits, the oil changes, the grocery runs. When Owen's parents needed something, the request came to him and the money came from me, quietly. The way I do most things. Every family has one person who keeps the lights on. In ours, that person was me. And not one of them had done the math on what that meant. I kept a spreadsheet. Not to use it, to track it. Because numbers are the one thing in that family that never lie and never change their story. Depending on who's in the room. Over 3 years, I had quietly covered Ruth's father-in-law Frank's heart medication. $500 a month in copays. When the roof at their house gave out, I covered $6,000 in installments so it wouldn't show as one frightening number. Groceries when the medication ate the grocery money. Property taxes twice, just under $40,000. Ruth thought it came from Owen's wages. I never corrected her. Correcting her would have meant a conversation. And conversations in that family came with a bill of their own. The other thing Ruth didn't know. 6 weeks before Owen's birthday, we drove to the county courthouse in our good clothes. A judge asked Owen if he understood that adoption made Lily his child in every legal sense. His heir, his responsibility, forever. No different from Nate and Sophie, Owen said yes before the judge finished the sentence. Lily got to bang the little gavel. We have a photo of her mid-swing, mouth wide open, Owen's hand steadying her wrist. Her name is now Lily Crawford. Like the stubbornness, like the everything, we hadn't told the family. We were saving it for the right moment. I kept the decree in a manila envelope in my bag. I told myself it was for the announcement. Part of me already knew better. Ruth hosted Owen's birthday herself. Her table, her rules. I offered to cook. His sister Diane, recently divorced, orbiting her mother like a moon that's forgotten it used to have its own light, said in that bright voice that's really a closed door that they wanted to keep it family this year. I ordered the cake anyway. 8 names across the top. The number of a full family. I was bringing a cake with 8 names to a table laid for 7. We drove out on a gray Saturday. Lily wore the green dress she'd picked herself and held a rolled-up drawing on her lap the whole way. "A surprise for Owen," she said. No peeking. Ruth met us at the door with a hug for Owen, a nod for Nate and Sophie, and a flat "there she is" for Lily that didn't reach her eyes. The good china was out. Cloth napkins. 7 chairs, 7 plates. Before dinner, neighbors stopped by to drop off a card. Ruth lit up. She put a hand on Nate's shoulder and one on Sophie's and presented them like exhibits. "These are the grandchildren." The neighbors made the right noises. Lily stood 18 inches away, holding her drawing, smiling, waiting to be introduced. She wasn't. Lily tugged my sleeve and asked me the question she'd been circling for a year. Finally said out loud, quiet enough that only I could hear, "Mommy, am I a grandkid, too?" I knelt down right there on Ruth's polished floor and told her yes. That she was somebody's whole world. That the people who couldn't see it were the ones missing out. Behind me, I heard Ruth and Diane in the kitchen, not bothering to lower their voices much. "This table is for blood." Lily heard it. I watched it land on her, watched her file it next to the bare refrigerator, the recycled drawings, the one small box at Christmas. She didn't cry. She just got very still. The way I get still. Owen missed all of it. He was on the porch with Frank talking gutters and ball games. Good man, wrong room. I kept Lily close. I kept my bag closer. Inside it, flat against the lining, the manila envelope and a second folder. 3 years of transfers. Dated, totaled, sorted by category. You don't bring your books to a birthday party unless some part of you already knows. The party is going to become an audit. Dinner was called. Diane drifted over to Lily and suggested, all reasonableness, that she might be more comfortable in the den. TV in there. Folding tray. Wouldn't a little girl rather watch cartoons? I said Lily was comfortable right here with her family. Diane's smile tightened. Then she got to the actual point. The family photos after dinner. Mom wanted those to be just the grandchildren. The real grandchildren, she said, and then caught herself and didn't take it back. This wasn't Jana improvising. This was planned. The chair count, the den, the photos, all of it decided before we walked in. Ruth appeared in the doorway with a carving knife. She looked at Lily standing by my side and decided that wouldn't do. "Lily, honey, come here a minute." Frank saw it coming. He lowered himself into his chair at the head of the table, moving carefully since the heart trouble. Something tired and ashamed crossed his face. "Ruth," he said, "she's just a little girl. Let her sit. Stay out of it." "Frank, I'm handling the table." He picked up his fork and looked at the cloth. The small brave thing in him folded back up and went quiet. Before Ruth could steer her away, Lily crossed to Owen, who'd just come in from the porch, and held up her rolled drawing with both hands. "Happy birthday, Daddy." It was all of us. Big heads, small bodies, a yellow smiling sun in the corner. 5 figures holding hands. She labeled us in careful first-grade letters. Mommy, Daddy, me, Nate, Sophie. Owen took it like it was made of glass. He got down on one knee. "This is the best present I've ever gotten." And he meant it. Ruth glanced at the drawing and her mouth did a small cold thing. "That's a nice drawing, sweetheart." Then to the room, brisk. "Dinner's getting cold." At dinner, Diane put her hand on Lily's back and began steering her toward the den. Owen had his back turned carrying the cake. Ruth intercepted. She stepped between me and Lily, put her own hand on my daughter's shoulder, and turned her firmly toward the hall. "The children who belong at this table will sit at it. June, Lily can eat in the den. She'll be more comfortable." The table went quiet. "She's staying at this table," I said. Ruth faced me fully. 3 years of managed patience compressed into one sentence. "Megan, Kate, let the real children sit with their father tonight. It's his birthday." Her hand stayed on Lily's shoulder. "She's not his. Not really. Everyone here knows it. I'm not going to pretend at my own table." Lily stood frozen under her grandmother's hand. She didn't understand all the words, but she understood the shape of them, the way a child always understands when an adult is making them small. Ruth reached for her anchor, the deed that couldn't be foreclosed. "This table is for blood." I put my hand in my bag. I walked to the table, to the empty place where Lily's chair should have been, and I set the manila envelope down without a word. Then the folder beside it. I opened it to the summary page. Jana, Ruth. For 3 years I've sat at your table and listened to you decide who counts. I'm not doing it anymore. I slid the decree out first. County seal, judge's signature. In the matter of the adoption of a minor child. Lily Crawford. Parent, Owen Crawford. 6 weeks ago, in front of a judge, Owen adopted Lily. It's finalized. Her name is Lily Crawford. The same as Nate, the same as Sophie, which makes her your granddaughter, Ruth, and his heir, equally his heir, with the same claim to everything you've been promising to the others. Ruth's hand went to the edge of the table. I turned the folder page so she could see the total. And this is who's been keeping your household warm while you decided my daughter didn't belong in it. I touched the first line. Frank's medication, $500 a month for 2 years. The roof, $6,000. Groceries, property taxes, just under $40,000. Ruth, not $1 from Owen's wages. From me, from the stranger's kid's mother. Frank put on his glasses, read the page, and looked at his wife. Finally, Jana, Ruth. It's all true. She snatched the napkin off her lap, voice cracking. How dare you bring money into this? You think a checkbook makes that child blood? I didn't bring money into this, I said. Quiet. You did. The day you decided some children eat at the table and some eat by the door. I just wrote down what it cost. Owen had stood in the kitchen doorway through all of it. Now he set June's drawing down on the table between the decree and the ledger, smoothed it flat, and stepped forward. You pushed my daughter out the door. He let that sit. My daughter. I sat in a courtroom 6 weeks ago and swore to be her father for the rest of my life. And tonight at my own birthday, you shoved her toward the cold like she was nothing. He looked at his mother, then his father. We're leaving, all 5 of us, and the money stops tonight. You can't feed off this family and spit on half of it at the same time. Ruth reached for him. For the first time in his life, he didn't take her hand. Happy birthday to me. I'm spending it with my family. Then Nate stood up from the table he'd been told all his life was his by right. He looked at his grandmother and said, She's our sister. If Lily can't sit here, I don't want to either. Sophie followed without a word. Ruth's entire bloodline had just voted with their feet and picked the stranger's kid. We walked out together, all 5 of us, through the same front door Ruth had tried to push Lily through an hour earlier. The cold porch air was sharp and clean after the heat of that room. In the car, halfway home, Lily finally spoke. Did I do something wrong? Owen answered before I could. Eyes on the road, voice rough. No, you did everything right just by being you. She fell asleep before the highway, the way kids do after they've held it together longer than they should have to. The check stopped that week. The refrigerator in our house is still covered edge to edge with Lily's drawings. Last week she added a new one taped right over the handle. 5 figures holding hands in front of a blue house. Same as always. She signs them now. Lily Crawford. Blood decides who you're related to. Showing up decides who your family is. And I've learned to keep very good records of exactly who shows up.